If you're here, maybe you're struggling starting your first board game, and I struggled as well. And I was thinking about that today, which is my first board game I started working on in 2018. It's something that I had talked about with my brother before I started for about a year. And the reason I started was because I had appendicitis and I had more free time at home. And I was like, okay, let me be productive in this time. And then I started watching a bunch of YouTube videos. And one thing I realized pretty quick is like the ideas I had, I didn't know how to execute on. Like I would have these ideas about like a feeling maybe that I wanted. Like I remember thinking I really want to make like a political intrigue game. And then I had no idea how to do that, right? And I remember like kind of getting down on myself, and I would just watch videos of game reviews. I'd watch Shut Up and Sit Down all day, and kind of be like, is there something that I can do? What like in every game I kind of be like, oh, that's a really cool hook. Oh, that sounds really cool. And I'd get excited about the game, but then I'd be like trying to think of my own game, and it wouldn't be very easy until one day I saw a Shut Up and Sit Down video where they talked about the game Catacombs, and immediately I had a reaction to that because I was like, I can do this. Because otherwise, with board games, they're systems that are kind of hidden in a lot of ways, and they can be really clever. And when you look at them from the side, it's actually a problem in board games when sometimes it's difficult to get people to understand your game easily, right? But anyway, I saw Catacombs, and it was just such a simple idea. And if you don't know what Catacombs is, it's a flicking game where one person plays as the dungeon master, the others play as heroes, and they flick little discs, and it's your classic dungeon crawl experience, just with this really simple flicking mechanic. And for me, it just clicked that I was like, I fully understand how this system works. And it seems like such a fun thing. It seemed super fun to me. And it's just something I hadn't thought of. And I love experiences where like you're touching things, So actually I made my first prototype out of like just bottle caps, and I drew a grid on just a big piece of cardboard. We started working on it and got quite good. And we ended up just a couple of weeks after winning a local award for it. And then we went to Essen, and we got some two publishers contacted us, showed interest in the game, and the game actually never got published, but that's a story for another time. But what I want to talk about is why that game, I feel like, worked really quickly. We got into a really good place where it was fun, people enjoyed it, we consistently got feedback of, that's a good game, can I buy it? All those green flags of, you've made a good game. But then after that, I feel like maybe the next 5 or 6 prototypes, I couldn't get to that level of fun. And I think finally I'm realizing why that is. I think it's because I actually started with a template of something fun. And I think a lot of times what we can really get in our heads about, like just creative people, is we look at what something else has done, what somebody else has done, and we say, oh my God, that's so original. We want to be original. Why didn't I think of that, right? That's something that you'll hear people say often. But you can take a template of something good and start off at a good point. And then by playing around with it and changing it, it will become original. You don't want to just copy a game, because there are out there, you're going to see a lot of you'll see Cards Against Humanity copies or Catan clones, and there's stuff like that. And that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is taking a game, if you just use it as a good starting point, or as inspiration, it can really take your game further much, much, much faster. Like it can take the process down from a year of finding the fun to finding the fun pretty quick, and then just having those fun playtests where the game evolves with each playtest. And another thing that I was thinking about when I thought about this was something I heard about the Beatles. I love the Beatles. I'm a big music fan. And I heard when they made the album Rubber Soul, it was quite different, right? It was a change in style. And Brian Wilson, who's one of the lead songwriters from the Beach Boys, listened to that album, and he got really inspired. And he was like, "Oh, I wanna make something like that. I wanna make something that's this different." And he ended up getting a spark to create from the Rubber Soul album because he loved it so much. And he kind of answered with Pet Sounds, which has like God Only Knows on it, and other songs which I can't think of right now the names of. But he answered in that way. And it's another great album. It's not a copy of Rubber Soul. It's like, oh, they made something real, something good, something different. I want to make something good and different. And then the funny thing is, after that, Paul McCartney listened to Pet Sounds, and he said he cried when he listened to it because he felt, well, he loved the album so much, but also he felt like he can't write something like that. And it turns out when the Beatles were recording their next album, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, they would listen to Pet Sounds in the studio and just get inspired by it. And so this sort of thing with creative people and, when looking at each other's products or at each other's creations, you can use that as fuel for your own stuff. Or you can use that, like I said, kind of as a template where it's like a starting point of, hey, I love this mechanic. Let's start with that. And then how is it going to change? And I think that's a much better way to think about creation than, oh, I see this game. Oh, too bad I didn't think of that. No, see it, play it, love it, and then be like, oh, I want to make something as well. So yeah, try that. Thanks for watching.